Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles 2, where we mainly talk about psychology, entrepreneurship, and how to become a better version of yourself. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles in order to help people of all walks of life achieve their manifestation goals, plain and simple. I demystify what manifestation truly is and how to make it really practical, how to really stop expecting perfection out of yourself. That's really not what's necessary. And definitely what I've learned being an entrepreneur for over 13 years now, coming close to 14, of how to better operate. Yes, technology is changing every day, but I think the main principles, certainly psychology doesn't change with technology. And in fact, you may have the upper hand in the situation where people are solely focused on technology and you can employ other methods, especially manifestation, to get your way every single time. So this is in fact what we're going to talk about. If you need coaching, all the info for me is below. I have another channel that I've recently started, my new Magic and Miracles channel. The handle is Magic and Miracles Inc., spelled out. That's the new channel that is essentially, it has been created as a successor of the original Magic and Miracles channel. So the link is below. You can sign up there, and there I talk about relationships and this piece. But if you have any questions about coaching, just email me. The links to the websites are below. So on this channel, I like to keep it casual and just get straight to it. And I'm really kind of inspired to talk about this because, so the topic is how to always win. Okay. And I'm not talking necessarily just in business. I'm just talking life in general, as it were. But more if you need to get shit done. Let's just say it's especially important that you win, that you get your way. All right. I think this is very prevalent, and this is more psychology. Because on this channel, I go in between manifestation and psychology. Because, listen, whatever you want to say, they're so intertwined. One depends on the other. All right. There's no getting away from that. You're not going to plaster affirmations on your life. You're not going to plaster yet another technique you heard about without knowing yourself. What the fuck is it you're dealing with? What is your engine running on? Okay. So psychology then, it becomes the number one engine, the number one thing that you need to look at with yourself in order to be able to operate this world successfully. If you don't have control over your mind, control over your emotions, even though we're here to evolve and definitely experience challenges. I don't know, by the way, who told people in the manifestation society, in the manifestation circle, that, just like there's an impression that everything needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be perfect. There are challenges in life. Like, is this something new for people to find out that through challenges you become stronger and you grow, and that's an adult thing to do? I think it's very childish, very immature to expect for yourself or others to constantly be perfect. I think narcissists do that a lot, just expect perfection of others and themselves. In the worst case scenario. In the best case scenario, although that doesn't really sound like a best case scenario now that I said it, you're very critical of yourself, but not of others. But expecting perfection, I believe, is a form of narcissism. It's not human to expect perfection. It's not human to not allow yourself to quote unquote fail in the eyes of society. Who gives a fuck about society anyway? I think if we normalize and understand that there are challenges. It's just how you swim through them. Are you learning anything? Are you becoming a better version of yourself, or are you insisting that you're right, that you're perfect, or are you insisting that this alone, this challenge alone, means you're completely imperfect? Which is the deviation from what's supposed to happen, is all I'm pointing out, okay? And I think this hyperventilation for perfection is really rooted in afraid to fail. Afraid to fail. And I think more than ever, and I got sidetracked, I realized, but nevertheless, it has to do everything with what I'm talking about. More than ever, I think you should open up to the idea that self-acceptance and the way that things are at the moment, temporarily as it might be, those things are okay. They're okay also. This is how you start winning, when you stop criticizing reality itself. So what? Wherever you are in the world, whatever it is you're experiencing, so fucking what? Like, nobody else has been in your position, in this situation before. It doesn't exist. It's ridiculous. Putting too much pressure on oneself, completely invalidating the lesson at hand, and thus the potential, always the potential to elevate to a higher ground. The universe is giving you a chance. How are you going to handle this? It's not a punishment. It's an opportunity to level up. I always see challenges this way. I have a completely different point of view from most people, I have to say, how they view challenges. It's a negative thing in most people's eyes. It's really bizarre, because that's how they would judge it in their own life. This is why they don't evolve. A very simple equation. So now let's get back to the topic. How to always win. And yes, psychology is important, but you're starting with your own psychology. You need to understand why you would, first of all, this whole fucking situation with Neville Goddard, of everyone as you pushed out, like, I beg to differ. All right. Again, some people are just placed in our path to learn something from, even if negative. Okay. The person being negative, and then experience being negative. In particular, if the experience is negative. Jerry Seinfeld said, pain is a lot of information all at once. Temporary pain. Temporarily, you'll be in pain, but you'll learn a lot. Well, stretching is not comfortable, and growing is not comfortable. But are you learning anything from this? Or are you again labeling it as a negative experience? You presented with a challenge in this person or this situation, because within this situation, there's an enormous golden nugget that otherwise could not have presented itself to you. Because there needs to be a problem for the solution to arise, and then create something so magnificent in your world that without the so-called problem, then the solution completely revolutionized your life. Not just found a solution for this little situation, but also elevated you to a higher ground. And so we come back to the point of how to always win. If there is a person in your life, or people, plural, persons, plural, who get on your fucking nerves, realize, no, that's not you pushed out. You presented with a challenge. Are you going to go into their reality? Are you going to, for the lack of better verbiage, stoop to their level? Is this going to be you? Are they are inviting you. It's so easy. It's so tempting to get involved in the mama drama panorama, unnecessarily so. It's not interesting. To a successful person who thinks, how can I create more? How can I be of value? The drama is a waste of fucking time. And, I myself, know it on my own example. I avoid drama. I procrastinate drama every chance I get. I don't want to deal with it. I have better use of my time. Okay? I would literally rather pay something rather than be confronted with something that I don't want to deal with, quite frankly. Because there's certain level of people that doesn't deserve my energy, doesn't deserve my attention whatsoever, especially in the energy. So if there's somebody who is getting on your nerves, understand that's their shit. Period, the end. That's your shit, darling. It's not my shit. You acting the way that you do is only has to do with you. I think that's pretty clear, no? It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I am presented with the challenge of having to deal with you, you could say. But, I'm going to deal with it intelligently. And therein lies the whole, crux of the situation and the lesson, whether you're learning or not. Are you going to go that way? Are you going to go the route of this person's proposition of to descend to this lower level from which they're operating if they're starting any drama, especially if, I mean, nothing is ever warranted for it to become a drama, but in particular, if it's unwarranted, completely unwarranted, right? Are you going to take the bait? And for some time, you might. You might. And it feels horrible. Why? Because it's an invitation to a disastrous reality, to a disastrous parallel timeline, parallel reality. But I really liked this one word. And one of my clients, ever so brilliantly, brilliant as they are, my clients, used this word or used this expression. And they will remain anonymous, but I'm just going to use the expression of they're not on my standard. They don't have my standards. Or this is something to the effect of not everybody has the same standards. I love that shit. Standards, they're not the same for everybody. And I think you should, like, the earlier on that you realize that shit, I think the less painful this human experience will become for you. Because not for nothing, but I worked on myself tirelessly for years, my entire life, to have the standards that I do. And for some time, especially in my 20s, I expected, and early 30s certainly, expected people to have the same standards as I do. And I ran into a lot of frustration to realize, and was very disheartened to realize people just don't have the same standards. Not only that, but they don't give a shit that they don't have higher standards. They're happy on their lower frequency. So then what? Is this my responsibility too? Fuck no. That's complete and utter bullshit. And I really believe that the Neville Goddard regurgitators, holy shit, bananas, just aren't you fucking embarrassed by now? Haven't you written a fucking line of your own teachings that you're regurgitating the poor man's teachings incorrectly? I really feel like what he meant to say there is not to take responsibility for every single ding dong out there. I really feel that he meant, if you wish to influence somebody, you could, but that you're responsible for every person out there. I don't think that he would agree with that. I really fucking don't. I think that's an undertaking of another kind. So you're responsible for your government, then, right? You're responsible for, I mean, all of these things that are completely unrelated to you, not even in your mind, perhaps. Like, I, for one, don't pay attention to the news on purpose because I feel like there's a lot of lower frequency stuff coming on there. I purposely, again, avoided so as not to invite these energies into my life. And so the suggestion that you are identified by another person's behavior is crap. It's how you deal with this behavior, though. Are you going to respond in kind? Or are you going to look at this person and say, well, first of all, let's examine a couple of things. Are you triggered by what they're doing or saying? And if yes, then why? That's the question to ask. When you receive the answer to this question, just examine it. What are they asking you to look at? What are they asking you to maybe even standing up to them is the final kind of conversation with this situation that you're going to have. And I've had that certainly with, not in business, but certainly in my personal life. My second husband would not give me a divorce for years. I think it was something ridiculous, like close to 10 years. It's crazy, but it's true. And I really examined the situation in its final stages. And I found that for whatever reason, I was still triggered by what he was saying to me, by what he was attempting to say that who I am and how I am. And then I realized, look at who's talking. His life was in complete disarray. He was unemployed. There was nothing going on in his life. And I'm like, why would I take the cue from this person? They're miserable. They're absolutely insanely miserable. He hasn't achieved anything in his life. And here I am, an entrepreneur and creating things that other people would dream of. Certainly he would dream of. And in the position of strength where I get to decide how my life goes. And he's just clinging on to me for dear life. For what reason? I don't fucking know. Just to be spiteful, So then, right? So when I looked at that situation in the way of, oh, I understand why you act this way. Because you're fucking miserable. Because your life sucks ass. Okay. I would be angry too. And when I realized that, I just stopped giving a shit so much. I really did stop giving a shit so much because for an empath, it's really hard, I have to say. And this is who I'm recording this for the most part, I would say, because for an empath, it's very hard to disconnect from another person's feelings, particularly if it has been a romantic relationship. But don't take on somebody else's energy without asking questions, That was me, we've known each other with my second ex-husband for some time. And so it was easy for them to poke at me because he knew me for such a long time. But even that wasn't valid because the person that I became had absolutely nothing in common with him. And I wondered if we ever did, in fact. Some people just want to feed off of your energy because they don't have any good one of their own. They're angry inside. Their life is not working out. They're not taking responsibility for it. They don't have anything going on in life. And so that's how they spend their time. Again, standards, that's their standard of spending time to be a pain in the ass to other people who have better shit going on. So are you going to get emotionally involved with a situation like this? Or are you simply there to get your way and treat the situation in white gloves? And how you win is you don't participate in the drama and simply clearly define your objectives. I'm here to get X, Y, and Z. What is the best course of action here? For me to get rid of this person, for me to end the situation, for me to never see this person again, whatever. To do away with the situation, to get your yes, to get the situation resolved in your favor. I'm telling you right now, don't participate in the drama and keep your eye on the prize of I'm getting X, Y, and Z. And whatever way that you have to now disconnect it emotionally from, I guess a potential bully, you might say, because I think anybody who's spending time in causing somebody else drama is a bully. Is just a bored, out of their mind, pathetic bully, just sitting there and worrying about how they can be a pain in the ass to you. I gotta tell you, that's so foreign to me. Whenever I started encountering, the mere presence of your passion, of your determination, of your relentless ability to get up and keep moving really intimidates some people who have unhealed wounds inside. really that it bothers them to the moon and back. They don't understand it. They don't understand passion. And I would say narcissists in particular, since we're on a topic of narcissists, you know, I I really came to this conclusion that they don't have anything human about them. They're trying to mimic being human very like desperately, but they're so tone deaf that they don't have any reference towards what it's like to be human. The best they've got is to mimic it. It's kind of like a little scary, actually, really deeply concerning. But yeah, I've come to this conclusion as of late. So, going back to the topic, you simply say, well, that's your standard. This is why you're acting like this. And again, if you look at the person, you kind of see why. So, how much then does it become about you? How much then are you tempted to get into this nasty energy and start responding? Don't react, respond indeed, but don't react. Just like take yourself out of that situation in white gloves as soon as possible. But reaction from the metaphysical standpoint is the invitation of that energy. And again, to the onlookers, what you're doing, I mean, might make no sense, completely no sense, but that you trust your internal guidance and that you recognize that, like, okay, wait a minute. I was doing the right thing, and this person came over here and started causing bullshit drama for no reason other than they want to be a pain, like literally no reason, right? Because their life sucks or whatever, they're upset. There is no reason. The reason is, again, for you to level up, to recognize this is coming for me to test. Am I ready for my mastery? Am I ready in this very difficult situation? Am I going to augment my spiritual expertise, if you want to call it that way? Am I going to, because all that it is, manifestation to me, is to be able to control your mind and to control your emotions, most importantly. If you can control your emotions, you've got it made. Nobody can do anything to you. Nobody, but nobody. Because you're staying so faithful with the grounds of your reality. Your reality feels a certain way. Your identity feels a certain way. And again, I'm mostly recording this for empaths because I know how sometimes difficult it is to separate another person's energy and your own. I mean, and therein lies the gift. And sometimes people say it's a curse as well, because if you're uneducated in this department, and I certainly was uneducated in this department for a long time, certainly in my 20s, I could have used this information, but it's a gift in that you get to read people's thoughts. You get to read people's energy, their intentions. It's not your energy, though. It feels yucky. It feels like it's on you. It feels like it is you, which is why I think you really have to be careful when you make pronouncements like, everybody's you pushed out. Yeah, no. Yeah, nah, that's not how it works. Everybody in your immediate circle is you pushed out and their versions. I would go with that. But everybody in the world, you mean? I don't think so, darling. I think these people come as lessons. When I stopped reacting emotionally toward my ex-husband, my second husband, was writing to me and trying to, you know, an ugly person who is ugly inside, I want to stress, their job is to make you feel ugly inside too. That's how much they are in pain. I think that's the reason why you should not react. You should just, well, I don't know if you should feel sad for them or what, but it's what the pain they're going through. And you just, cut the show. I don't know. Sometimes these things happen. And then maybe, but just maybe, this situation is happening so that you can once and for all detach yourself. And sometimes, not for nothing, you know, people in my life, when they came against me, I don't know, but I care for people. And even though they might be fucking me over, like, that's the empath in me. I feel bad. I feel bad for them that they're destroying their life, because I know what's coming next. It's not even up to me, it's up to the karma, it's up to the laws of the universe. But I gotta tell you, you gotta disconnect from that feeling of responsibility and do what's right for you. That's it. The alternative is that you are going to get sucked into their mama drama panorama. That's not your responsibility to fix people. They are responsible to fix themselves. Maybe they will learn not to fuck people over in the future after having dealt with you, and you have bettered the world. And I feel like, if you just, again, do not get involved with the drama. And when I disconnected, therefore, from the drama with my ex-husband, the situation changed. He lost his power completely. Before, I was trying to be nice and this and that, and trying to get into his energy, brought me absolutely nothing. No result, because I was stooping to his level. Trying to understand why somebody is nasty to you is a never-ending proposition. Who gives a shit? Their head is not screwed up right. I don't know. It could be many different reasons. Why is a person angry? Okay, let's examine. I have done nothing to you. That's, as far as I'm concerned, your own issues are your own issues. Ciao, cacao kind of situation. I have my own shit to accomplish. I'm very focused on my goals. This is my frequency. And I'm not going to let you drag me down. No, thank you. That's the emotional strength, the emotional discipline. That's the component that's necessary for you to win every single time. I'm getting my shit done. Either, you know, get hurt in the process. If it hurts you to see other people win, if it hurts you to see other people do well, if it hurts you to see other people come out of situations untouched because of your drama, then get hurt. All right? And that's some people's stance. And again, for the empath, that could be very challenging because, again, I want to use narcissists as an example, where they start, making shit up, playing the victim, this and that. In one ear it goes and out the other. How did this person treat you? Facts. Facts are friendly, my darling. They don't have a stance. You don't owe them anything. You don't, much less you owe them your energy. Your energy is very expensive. You would rather spend that energy. This is why I started out saying I avoid certain kinds of lower energy people on purpose. I have nothing to do with them. Nothing. It's just not my level, not my standard. That's your standard. You can live out your standard till the cows come home. What the fuck do I care? That's your life. You choose to live like this. Okay. That's it. That's what you should say. You are a museum piece that belongs in the universe, but no, thank you. I'm not visiting the exposition. You know what I mean? This is the detachment with which I feel like it will help you, all jokes aside, to look at it as a performance act. Okay, that's your shit. Interesting, not. But but what does this have to do with me? You acting out like this just strengthens my core. So that's the exercise, ladies and gentlemen. Can you fly above the ground? Can you fly above the situation? Can you deduct what you need to deduct and energetically detach and cut that cord between you and that person and that situation, and never let it affect you again? The situation will transform. The only thing that the person might have on you in any situation is the emotional reaction. Can they get an emotional reaction out of you? Can they manipulate you into doing things that may be not for you, not in your best interest? And that's the deal. Are you going to stoop to that level, or are you going to be the unbothered golden Buddha, as I call? And this is not a reference to religion, but simply a reference to this unlimited being who doesn't give a shit anything about a lower level anything. I mean, this could be even your family, your siblings, etc. Again, if you really want to be successful at this energy game, at life, you have to really choose where your energy goes. Are you going to invest it with a family member, even if it's your parent, that's completely draining you and bringing you down? You don't owe anybody any energy. What do you care if they're upset that you don't get involved in their drama anymore? Good. Like I said, be hurt if it hurts you to see other people not get involved with your fucking drama anymore. Boo fucking who. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? So, in essence, every situation needs a leader. Be that leader. Be the leader by being unbothered. The end. And how you lead is in mindset and in emotional stability. The end. That's it. And if you're that, then you don't fucking spend your time considering some bullshit that's trying to do any other thing other than what you have in mind. The end. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.